City Roller Derby, or ChinookCity.ca. We also want to thank Nerd Roller Skates. NerdRollerskates.com for people who roll. Well, everybody, are you ready for a little bit of roller derby? For those of you online and in-house, we're going to have Southern Alberta's Junior Roller Derby Legendary Rollers taking on Montana's Rock-In Rollers.
Lining up for the first jam in the Star 4, the Legendary Rollers, we have Wolf Blade Jr., and for Rockin' Rollers number 2, Evil Squishy.
Sounds like we have some fans in the house. We want to thank all of the parents.
And we're off.
Evil Squishy getting a bit of a hard time back here at the jam line.
Wolfblade Jr. out front with the lead, taking advantage of that split pack to get around that tough front wall.
A little bit more volume in the house for this junior match.
Wolfblade will skip through for a point and call it before Evil Squishy can grab any.
That'll be our first jam in the books. We've had a lead change. Legendary first to strike with 1 on the board.
Up next, number 14, Lord of the Rink for the Rockin' Rollers, and number 7, Tricky Little for the Legendary Rollers.
Both of these jammers getting a bit of a hard time. Looking like
That'll be Tricky Little out front with lead.
Bayonet given a forearm penalty.
Little Tricky will rip through, grab some points, 3 points, and call it before Orange can grab any.
Pam Demonium grabbed 30 seconds there right at the whistle. Looks like we're going to have Wolfblade Jr. facing off against Anarchy. Both these teams jostling on the line. Each jammer trying to go to the respective sides.
That'll
it appears
Wolfblade
that
with the lead.
Legendary was able to grab the lead jam.
And an apex hop for Wolfblade Jr. and calls it from the floor.
Just a good bit of athleticism there on the inside, right at the whistle.
Anarchy did pick up 1 point, putting their team on the board.
These young athletes They're the youth. They're going to be showing us how it's done in a few years. Who do we have on the line there, Roar?
Looks like we've got number 14, Lethal for Legendary, and number 13, Scalita in the orange.
Well, looking like Legendary was able to get out there first. That's Lethal.
Looks like Smashing Rex and crew are giving some trouble to the Orange Jammer.
Looks like Legendary was able to grab 5 points there. That's Lethal with 5 on that last pass. Scalita getting quite the hard time from the Southern Alberta Junior Roller Derby team here.
Couple of orange blockers will switch places in the penalty box.
Scalita sliding a little bit as she came around turn 4 there.
Four more points for Lethal.
Rock and Rollers sitting with 1 on the board, Legendary 18.
There's 4 more for Rock and Rollers. And Lethal will take a cut track penalty, giving a power jam for the remaining of this jam to Scalita.
Lethal was trying to call it off there as she accrued her penalty. I'm hearing instructions from both benches here.
Legendary with only 2 blockers left on the track, but it's not the size of the army that counts, it's the onslaught of their fury. They're doing a great job.
Smashing Rex trying to get a hip on that jammer as she went by. Lethal trying to happy feed her way through to the inside there. Rock and Rollers 10, Legendary 21, 25 minutes and about Anarchy going up against Wolfblade Jr.
No, Anarchy is blocking. We've got Alex and Puncherland in the star for the Rock and Rollers. Wolfblade Jr. out front with the lead. Acid Reflux with a big sweep as her jammer came through the pack there.
We're going to get reset here. Looks like we've got Tricky Little going up against Lord of the Rink. Dottie Darko, our jam timer, sending them off.
Little Tricky out front. Tricky Little grabbing that lead.
Quite a quick jam here right off the whistle.
Oh, big apex. Almost stuck the landing, but enough to get the points by Lord of the Rink.
The exuberant of youth going through on the inside there.
I think he flew over like a quarter of the track.
For those times I was playing, I certainly would be happy to do that one. After some adjustments here.
And it looks like Lord of the Rink's got another go-round in him. He's going to stay on the track and face off against Wolfblade Jr.
Rock and Rollers 20, Legendary 33. Wolfblade trying to work his way through on the inside. Lord of the Ring to the
found
outside. He was able to grab lead jam. Both these jammers getting instructions from their respective benches. Again, both of these young jammers trying to work their way through. Working his way through on the inside. Wolfblade Jr. is out there first. Again, Lord of the Ring making sure the safety equipment's all in place as he comes out of the pack.
Blocker paid the pain. Number 4 will take a cut track penalty.
.315, illegal re-entry.
Just to even it out a little.
Nice quick work on the outside by Wolfblade Jr. I see 4 points to the air, brought to you by Pamtera.
And he calls it.
We put Jam 7 to rest. We've got the Rock and Rollers sitting with 32, Legendary 45. We go back to action here. We're going to have Skelita on the jam line going up against Leothal.
Oh, just about stays in the track. Leothal finds her way through the inside to grab lead.
Skelita able to clear the pack. Leothal putting on a bit of a clinic. She was able to get out, grab 4 points.
And see Coach Flex letting her know from the outside. Let her know, like, call it off. She's right there. Let's grab them points. Just
quick instructions from the bench there on hit it and quit it.
Beauty, textbook. And that'll be a timeout for the Rock and Rollers.
That'll give us the opportunity to thank Rydell Skates, one of our sponsors. They experience world-class edging with the Radar Halo, available at a full range of hardnesses from 84A all the way up to 101A. There is a Halo for everyone. We also want to thank the Girls on Track Foundation. Did you know that by age 14, girls are dropping out of sports at twice the rate of boys? Girls on Track wants to change that stat. Learn more about expanding access to roller derby for girls in their teens at girlsontrackfoundation.org. We go back to action here. The Rock and Rollers are sitting with 32 on the board, a Legendary 49. We're going to have 20 minutes and 16 seconds left on the board here in period 1.
All right, back to the action. Number 2, Evil Squishy for the Rock and Rollers in the star. And Wolfblade Jr. for Legendary.
Evil Squishy out there for Montana.
And Evil Squishy will find her way through and grab that lead jam status.
The people rooting for the Montana team are making a little bit of noise in this turn 4.
She'll get through and call it before Wolfblade can grab any points. She's pretty proud of herself. That was a sweet dab.
Just a nice big smile and some exuberation there as she was able to put 4 more points on the board. The Rock.
Tricky Little for Legendary up against Lord of the Ring for Rock and Rollers. Lord of the Rink making quick work out front with the lead. Tricky Little right there.
Tricky doing a great job of ghosting through the pack.
Hops through those toe stops around that outside corner for 4 more points.
Rock and Rollers 36, Legendary 53 currently. Tricky grabs 4 more
Another
points
big
there.
apex hop but didn't quite make it across. Has to come back and re-enter for Lord of the Rink.
Lord of the Rink getting quite the hard time currently.
Tricky gets low and sprints through the outside.
Tricky looking calm, cool, and collected out there first. Number 1 for Montana going face to face against Tricky.
Pay the Pain has taken the star from Little Tricky and has put it on over her pivot cover. We've got a new jammer.
Pay the Pain trying to work her way through here.
Takes advantage of that no pack situation to grab some more points.
Our head ref there, Dodger balls.
Lord of the Rink will call it.
Making it known there was no pack there for just one moment. Looking like we got the Rock and Rollers sitting here with 52, Legendary 67. I see our jam refs just going to double check the scores currently. When we go back to action here, we're going to have Evil Squishy going up against Wolf Blade Jr. The volume has come up in the house with these juniors.
Little Squishy finds the friendly side, sprints through the inside to grab lead jam status.
Evil Squishy going around the curves with a big smile.
An attempted apex hop didn't quite land on the inside. Will have to come back to the back. She'll call it. Did she call it in time? Wolfblade got 2.
Evil with some big action trying to call it off there. Looks like we're going to have Leothal.
And Evil Squishy's got another one in her, so she's going to go again.
Back-to-back jams here. The energy of youth ready to go for another one. Leothal trying to work to the outside, Evil Squishy the inside, Evil Squishy out there first. Leothal close behind. Evil Squishy trying to go around the corner on one.
And Evil Squishy's going to call it. She did have the other jammer hot on her tail, so just to be safe, we won't get points, but you know what? They won't either.
Leothal doing a fantastic job of keeping on the tail end there of Evil. Rock and Roller is currently sitting with 54, Legendary 70. We've got about 15 minutes and 28 seconds on the board when we go back to our next whistle. Anarchy.
Oh, looks like there's going to be an official review.
Fluster making a call, asking for a review.
No, the officials are making the review with themselves.
Is that an
no challenge.
official review?
Nobody challenged it, so the officials are reviewing their stuff. It was not a challenge call. He's just having a good old chat with his team.
Oh, so you're suggesting that Fluster was just making some entertaining motions right there at the whistle?
Yes, he was.
Excuse me, I thought he was calling for a review, but those officials will make sure that everything's official. Rock and Roller is currently sitting with 58, Legendary with 70. We want to thank everybody for coming out for Chinook City Roller Derby's Co-Ed Roller Derby League presentation of Flat Track Fever 2018. This is our 7th annual event. We want to thank every one of our volunteers. Dottie Darko, our jam timer, letting everybody know that the official review or timeout is almost over.
Anarchy and Wolfblade lining up, ready to go. Wolf Blade Jr. out front for the lead.
Wolfblade taking a real good look at the pack as he came around out of turn 4.
Took nice advantage of just the shape of the track to get around that wall at that corner.
Anarchy getting recycled to the back as he can't make his way through.
It's important for blockers to have a strong recycling program.
Wolfblade hopping to the inside as he quickly called it to an end. Venomous with a nice big smile right there at the whistle. You're watching junior roller derby action from 2018's Flat Track Fever. Who do we have on the line there?
Looks like we've got Tricky Little in the black for Legendary, and in the orange for the Rock and Rollers, number 13, Scalita.
Both jammers knocked to the outside.
And that'll be Legendary out front with the lead.
Skills that kills, tries to keep everybody together here.
Lower to the track, working with Skills that kills, recycling Tricky Little back to the back.
Pulled her quite a far distance back there.
And with some instructions from Coach Flex, Tricky Little calls it off.
We've got a nice close game here right now, Aurora. We've got Rock and Rollers sitting with 60, Legendary with 83.
With just over 13 minutes left in this half and another whole half to play, it could still go in anyone's direction. Alex in Puncherland on the line for Legendary. Wolfblade Jr. back in the star for, no, he's for Legendary. Rock and Rollers is Alice in Puncherland.
Hey everybody, we want to thank everybody for coming out for this early morning presentation of Flat Track Fever. This is junior roller derby action brought to you from the Acadia Rec Center here in Calgary.
Wolfblade Jr. grabs that lead.
Alex in Puncherland.
Some fancy footwork through, and he'll call it off from the front of the pack.
Alex in Puncherland was just able to get out of there just before the whistle. Looks like we're going to have Lord of the Rink facing off against Leothal. Dottie says we've got 5 seconds. We're ready to rock and roll. Leothal trying to work her way through on the outside there.
And
Lord of the Rink getting quite the hard time on the inside. Leah getting pushed to the inside there. Lord of the Rink trying to make his way through on the outside now. Coming through turn 2 to 3.
Leothal will call it. I did hear a bunch of whistles just before the call whistle. I feel like there's a few penalties happening here.
Good heads up play by Leah there.
Wonderful.
We're currently sitting with the Rock and Rollers from Montana with 64. Southern Alberta Junior Roller Derby Legendary, 91 on the board.
Lord of the Rinks feels like he's got another jam in him, so he'll stay on the track and pair up against Wolfblade Jr.
Quite an even match here.
One after the other out of the pack. Lord of the Rinks will get out first and grab lead. Thought he found a hole. Number 15 knocks him to the inside. He'll call it off, but not before Wolfblade Jr. got through for 4.
Well, full contact sport. A little bit of a rough start there. We're going to make sure everybody's healthy, ready to rock and roll. Who do we have lining up there? It looks like Little Tricky and
Tricky Little and number 13 Scalita for the Rock and Rollers.
Scalita getting a long roll to the jam line. Payne puts a hip on her right there at the jam line as she tries to come through.
Tricky Little made quick work of that pack, got through for a lead.
Little Tricky putting those skates to good use. Lots of quick recycling action here.
Looks like number 999, Skills That Kills, leading the bridge on that. Number 315, Pandemonium, will take a penalty for the Rock and Rollers.
30 seconds there. Looks like we're going to have Wolfblade Jr. try and claim the jam line, going up against Evil Squitchy on our Jam 19. Looking like the Rock and Rollers are sitting with 68. Legendary knocking on the century door with 98 on the board. We want to thank our EMTs.
Wolfblade Jr. makes some space and finds his way out the front for lead jam status.
I'm hearing some big noise as Wolfblade went through there.
Wolfblade will hit it and quit it. He'll pick up 3 points for himself and 1 point picked up for the Rock and Rollers.
That was some quick, happy feet right there to be able to call the whistle. Montana's Rock and Rollers sitting with 69. Southern Alberta Junior Roller Derby just over the century mark. 101 points on the board.
Leothal up against Lord of the Ranks. Leothal out front with the lead. Lord of the Ranks not too far behind. We've got a blocker penalty for forearms by Pay the Pain. Leothal will call it from the floor just before Lord of the Rings had a chance to hit the back of the pack.
That was some good jammer on jammer jostling there coming out of turn 4. Evil Squishy going to go up against Wolfblade Jr. on this one. I see Ferris Bruiser getting all set up. Just a 3-pack there. Montana with a full 4-pack off the front.
Jammers lining up nice and snug in the corner. Wolfblade will give Evil Squishy just a little hip check before he takes off. It was enough. He finds his way through and grabs that lead. Evil Squishy finds a space and makes her way out the front. Makes her way out the front with a cut track penalty, which will send her to the box, giving Wolfblade Jr. not only lead, but a power jam.
5 full points on that last pass for Wolfblade Jr. Pay the Pains back in, rocking with that pack.
Wolfblade will call it, giving Legendary the chance to start with a power jam on this next go-round.
Good heads-up call by Wolfblade Jr. there. Going to make the jammer for the other team sit just a little bit longer in the box.
And give Tricky Little a chance to start strong and rack up some points.
That said, Evil's going to come in just a little bit cold when she gets the opportunity. There's a good heads-up strategy right off the whistle.
That's a great strategy to have your blockers run back, split the pack, and then reform right away.
I thought there was going to be a little bit more telegraphing there, but
it did earn Tricky Little a penalty, so she will go in the box just as Evil Squishy comes out to grab that lead jam status, giving her a power jam.
Advantage Evil.
And that is the pace of roller derby, folks, and just how quick the tables can turn.
Evil quickly through on the inside.
Evil will pick up 5 points.
Evil putting a few more points on the board for the Rock and Rollers, currently sitting at 74.
And she'll call it. But looks like just as the legendary jammer was coming out of the box. So both teams will start with a full contingent of players on the track.
We want to thank Nerd and Rydell Skates and Peterson Contracting and Girls on Track Foundation for sponsoring today's event.
Looks like Coach Flex calling a timeout for Legendary. Oh, it will be a challenge. Official review. The refs are talking about something.
Look at that, official timeout.
It looks like it will be a challenge. They are calling for the coach and captain from the Rock and Rollers to join Flux and Wolfblade Jr.
Both these teams putting on a fine exemplar of junior roller derby. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the people that are going to be taking the adult world by storm when they make their transition.
And some of them, it'll be sooner than later. And we've seen a few come up already, and it's just night and day the skills that the ones that have played junior before have compared to like the women who started when they're older.
They definitely come with a full bag of tricks.
They know what they're doing.
I think they're really malleable to the strategy of the game.
Yep.
We go back to action here. The Rock and Rollers are sitting with 74. Legendary just a little bit further ahead with 106. About 5 minutes left on the board when we go back to action. When I get the opportunity, I'll clarify with our official liaison. We want to thank everybody for the patience as we make sure that everything's on the up and up here. That gives me the opportunity to thank our vendors. We got Chantel Abers out there with unique leggings to match your style. We want to thank Mount Royal University for doing massages here on site. Whether you need a relaxation massage or have a condition that requires a therapeutic treatment, our students are trained to the highest standards nationally and can meet your needs. Origami Owl Custom Jewelry, helping you tell your story through jewelry. Young Living, they're doing essential oils and oil blends to take on a sensory journey that you can instantly soothe and enliven both the mind and body. Creative Vitality, helping you create a deeper understanding of your own unique body system. And Southern Alberta Junior Roller Derby, they've got a tail over there promoting safety, cooperation, and wholesome fun and entertainment for the whole family.
All right, just an update on that official review. Legendary was looking for a cut track penalty on the Rock and Rollers jammer. However, the refs have decided not to award that. They didn't have enough information. So Black will lose their challenge for this half. Getting ready to get back to Roland, number 911, Wolfblade Jr. up against number 14, Lord of the Rink.
Challenge denied. As the whistle goes, both jammers trying to work their way through. Looks like Wolfblade went to the outside. King of the track, or Lord of the Track, trying to roll his way through.
All right, looks like we're ready to get back at it. Just at the end of that final jam, there was a bit of a jumble in the corner, resulting in Wolfblade Jr. taking a penalty, meaning Lord of the Rinks will start with a power jam on this go round. He'll get through and grab that lead real quick. Lord of the Rink grabs a forearm penalty, and he'll go take a seat in the box, losing that lead jam. Wolfblade Jr. to take the track as soon as Lord of the Rink's in the box, giving him a power jam. Wolfblade Jr. hands the star off to Pivot, smashing Rex, giving him a chance in the star to grab some points. He'll come tumbling out the front for 5. Five more for Smashing Rex as he finds the friendly side on the inside of the track. Lord of the Rings back in action, looking for some points. Jam sandwich there between Wolfblade Jr. and Acid Reflex. Acid will take a penalty. Smashing Rex makes it through for a few more, as does Lord of the Rinks. We do not have a lead jammer here, so we are going to go for the full 2. Four more for Smashing Rex. Evil Squish takes a penalty for a low block. Lord of the Rings just misses a big shoulder from Wolfblade Jr. just before the whistle, and he'll pick up 4 more points.
These young athletes are putting on a fine example of junior roller derby prowess today.
We got Tricky Little on the line up against Scalita. Getting ready for jam number 24 of this first half.
With that whistle, we're back in jam 25.
Tricky Little finds a space and makes her way through to grab lead.
Tricky Little doing a good job of jamming for her team today. Scalita making sure equipment's all in order while she goes around.
Scalita skates through that outside, just surfs through and calls it before Scalita can hit the pack for points.
Rock and Rollers sitting with 83 points on the board. Legendary just a little bit further with 133 currently. This is period 1 of our first junior roller derby match of the day.
Rock and Rollers has Alex and Puncherland back on the star, and Wolfblade Jr. for the Legendary.
Official timeout. We want to thank every one of our officials. We've got quite the group of zebras this weekend. Without them, there'll be no adjudicating on each one of these roller derby matches. We want to thank them. Almost stationary off the whistle.
Just a little hesitation off the line, but not too much. Wolfblade Jr. found his way through to grab lead. Alex and Puncherland finds the inside to make her way out. Wolfblade does a nice little spin around the other pack, grabs his points, and calls it off before Alex and Puncherland can get there.
Some good strategy here by the juniors. Everybody keeping on the strategy to make sure that everything's on the up and up.
Some nice nickel and dime, hit it and quit it.
Every point counts. No one would win if we didn't keep track of the points.
Leothal on the line and Lord of the Rinks. Lord of the Rinks will get through. Leothal will get a penalty, giving lead jam and power jam to Lord of the Rinks.
Leothal with a back block there. She's got 30 seconds.
Lord of the Rinks thought he was out. Number 167, Ferris Bruiser, had other ideas, knocked him out and cycled him to the back.
Jam clock with 1:27 seconds left on it. We're sitting with Rock and Rollers 88, Legendary 137.
He's gone through and grabbed 5. He's looking for another 5. But all he found was a cut track penalty, which will send him to the box. Leothal's been released and is back in the action, looking for some points of her own now that she has a power jam status. Given that there's no lead jam, we are going to go for the full 2 in this final jam of the half.
Going to go for the full jam time here.
Leothal finding a tough back wall.
Acid reflux, 30 seconds. Gonna sit on down and contemplate. Pie Face trying to reassemble her line.
Scalita with a shoulder and a hip, giving a nudge to Leothal. Lord of the Rinks back on track, looking for some points. He'll get through and grab 4.
Scalita was chasing her out of the pack there.
Big apex jump there for Lord of the Rinks. He lands it and takes off running, rolling.
Some good high step in there from Lord of the Ring. Looks like we're going to go to the intermission here, folks. Montana's Rock and Rollers 96, Legendary Southern Alberta Junior 150.
We'll see you back here in 15 minutes.
Looks like we may have an official timeout here. Our officials are contemplating. We want to thank the King's Head, who are going to be the host of our official after party tomorrow evening. That's Sunday, immediately following the event. They are 1 block west and 1 block south. Just over there by Buffalo Wild Wings, all ages sports bar as well. We want to thank Buffalo Wild Wings for keeping our officials happy and nourished for the event. I'm going to say our intermission is official. We've got about 13 minutes and 45 seconds till junior roller derby action. We want to thank you for hanging out and hanging on for our second period.
Look. We are seconds away from hopping back into Derby action here with the Southern Alberta Junior Roller Derby Legendary Rollers and the Great Falls, Montana Rockin' Rollers in orange.
Let's hear it for everybody from Montana for making it up here for Flat Track 2018.
To start off this half of the game, we've got Wolfblade Jr. for the Legendary and Evil Squishy for the Rockin' Rollers. Wolfblade Jr. will get through, grab lead. Evil Squishy still working on it in the pack. She'll find her way out. Ferris Bruiser bringing Evil Squishy all the way back. Meanwhile, Wolfblade Jr.'s whipped through and grabbed 5. Wolfblade will call it before Evil Squishy can pick up any points.
Well, as we're making sure that everything is on the up and up and functioning for today's event, again, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Nerd and Rydell and Girls on Track Foundation, as well as the King's Head and Buffalo Wild Wings.
Little Tricky taking on Lord of the Rinks.
Little Trickly moving to the outside as King of the Ring.
Looks like Tricky Little grabs lead and will call it off before either have a chance to grab points.
Bit of a flat out race coming back to the pack there.
I like it when they race.
If people didn't expect to see a quick game here, I'm quite surprised. This is fantastic roller derby.
Anarchy in the star, Wolfblade Jr. back on the line.
Ferris Bruiser putting together a nice 3-pack here. That triangle right on the jam line. Is that Anarchy out there?
That was Wolfblade Jr. grabbed the lead. Anarchy literally hopped over a couple of blockers to get out front.
Definitely doing some high stepping.
Oh, just
Ferris
about stayed in. Ferris Bueller with a nice hip check.
Textbook.
And that'll be a cut track. Ferris Bruiser had gone all the way back to the back. You gotta come in behind the one who knocked you out. This will give Leothal the chance to start with a power jam.
Looking like we're going to make sure that everything's on the up and up.
Looks like the coach and captain from the Rockin' Rollers are in the middle to have a challenge. They are now joined by Wolfblade Jr., captain of the Legendary, and Coach Flux.
For everybody in the house, I'd like you to put your hands together for every one of the volunteers for Flat Track 2018. Without them, we can't put this event on for you. Roar, do you know who my favorite volunteers are for this event?
Is it the officials or the NSOs? They're my favorites.
My favorite volunteers are the EMTs. Without them, we can't do these events.
Good call. Keeping us safe and patched right up.
My volunteer time is minuscule in comparison to theirs. their schooling to make sure that they can come out and make sure that this happens and that everybody stays safe and healthy.
Ideally.
Speaking of healthy, we've got a couple of good healthy scores on the board currently. What do we got there, Roar?
Looks like we have 96 for the Montana Rock and Rollers to Legendary's 163 with about 27 and a half minutes left to play.
We want to thank Nerd Roller Skates. Get off the couch and get on your skates. When you need to roll quick, think quick bearings from Rydell Skates, where precision meets performance. Young Living, our essential oils and oil blends take you on a sensory journey that can instantly soothe and enliven both the mind and body. Looks like Dodger Balls is going to make sure that everybody, the coaches from both sides, know exactly what's going on here. Looks like the skating officials have made their decisions. Origami Owl Custom Jewelry, helping you tell your story through jewelry. Looks like Glitterin is going to come over and give us some information.
All right, so it looks like Orange was challenging the cut track call on their jammer, which has been overturned, so they do retain their challenge. However, an insubordination penalty is being awarded to the same jammer for failing to leave the track when the penalty was initially called. So he'll still start in the box, giving Leothal a power jam start.
So when we go back to action, Leothal will be out there by her lonesome with advantage. Again, Rock and Rollers from Montana sitting with 96 on the board. Southern Alberta Junior, a Legendary with 163. When we go back to action, we will have 27 minutes and 25 seconds left on period 2's official time clock.
Looks like Orange got wise to the run back tactic on the jam line. Big hit from Lord of the Rinks. He'll bring Leothal all the way back.
Lord of the Rink using a grand shoulder there.
And he's taking her out to the inside this time. Skills That Kills ran back. Looks like
Anarchy and Evil Squishy both coming in from the penalty box at the same time. Both these jammers getting quite the hard time here. Anarchy was...
Leothal made it out first, but Anarchy does grab the lead status, coming out right behind her as she has a no pass, no point call on Leothal, so no lead for Leothal. Anarchy now out front, escapes that pack, grabs his lead status. He's on a hunt for points.
I hazard to say, in the middle of that pack, it's Anarchy.
Just a little. There's a bit of chaos going on here. Both teams coming back strong from the half. There's been a star pass to Ferris Bruiser, who now wears the Jam Star.
Evil Squishy was able to put a shoulder on her immediately as she grabbed the helmet cover. Getting lots of noise from the Rock and Rollers bench there. Rock and Rollers have hit the century mark. 100 to Legendary 163. We're going to have adjustments momentarily. Alex and Puncherland going to go up against Wolfblade for our next jam.
Wolfblade with a hop and a skip makes it through the front for that lead jam status.
Ooh, look at that. Wolfblade trying to work to the inside, got knocked to his knees just on the inside there. He had to come back in behind everyone.
Alex Puncherland's made it through and is on a point hunt, but Wolfblade Jr. will call it back off before she has the chance.
For those of you who didn't know, you're seeing a prime example of junior roller derby here this morning. Lots of noise in the house. Both teams, parents, well invested in this match. Is that Anarchy? It looks like
that is Anarchy. Back and ready for more up against Tricky Little from Legendary.
Both of these jammers back for a little bit more. They're both on the rock and roll stage. Both passing over the jam line. Both these jammers getting quite the hard time.
Anarchy out front with lead.
Anarchy getting instructions from the bench as he passes by. Big melee there at the back of the pack. Tricky trying to work her way through the outside. She gets dragged back. I believe that's Scalita pulling her back.
Anarchy on his wheels. Surfing around the corner, though he did get a no point, no pass on one of the players. He'll call it off.
Anarchy coming through turn 4. They're doing the hockey spread.
Tricky picking up 2 right at the whistle.
We want to thank every one of our volunteers for Flat Track 2018 here. This is our 7th annual event. More to come.
We now have Venomous in her first jam in the star for nope, my mistake. We've got Skills That Kills in the star in the penalty box. Wolfblade Jr. out front with lead for Legendary.
Skills That Kills looking a little
looking at kills the penalty time.
She was questioning as she came around turn 4, just making sure that she was heading to the box.
Pandemonium and friends making Wolfblade Jr. work for his points, knocking him out and bringing him all the way back. Just gave him time to pick up speed to grab 5.
Wolfblade Jr. moving around with that 911 on his jersey, trying to work his way through the pack. Getting quite the hard time from that Montana crew.
Skills That Kills has rejoined the fray and come on through the pack.
Triple Threat was doing a fine job of keeping him back there as he grabbed himself a penalty.
And Wolfblade will call it off before she has any chance for points.
I apologize. They looked like he grabbed a penalty. He was just quick back to the bench. Scalita trying to make sure that the helmet cover is on.
Leothal on the line for Legendary. Leothal grabs that lead. Scalito grabs the penalty and she'll have a seat, giving a power jam to Leothal.
I didn't catch the call there. Was that a cutting penalty?
I believe it was. Orange blockers making life tough for the black jammer. Nice hip check from Allison Puncherland. She went out, so Leothal can just hop right back in and continue on her way.
Triple Threat trying to assemble that Montana crew. Working everybody back to try and take Leah out.
Leothal just misses going out and will sneak through that inside for 5 more points.
Bit of an olive oil right there on the inside line.
Scalito's back in action, looking to make her way through. She'll find it just as Legendary calls it.
Heads up play by Leothal there as the other jammer joined the fray. We want to thank Girls on Track Foundation for being a sponsor of 2018's Flat Track. Did you know that by age 14, girls are dropping out of sports twice as fast at the rate of boys? Go to girlsontrackfoundation.org for more information.
Evil Squishy and Wolf Belly Jr. matched up.
Evil Squishy getting squished right there at the back.
Wolfblade Jr. takes a tumble to the inside, assisted to the floor by Lord of the Rings.
While trying to stay on her skates, she still had a big smile coming through turn 4. Scalita making a nice big hole for her.
Little Squishy picking up 4 with her lead jam status. Wolfblade picking up 4 right behind her. She'll call it off before he has a chance for any more.
Evil Squishy with a big hop to the outside. As she does, she calls it. Montana's Rock and Roller sitting with 110. If you're a Southern Alberta Junior Derby fan, Legendary has just come over the second century mark with 204 points on the board. Little Tricky going up against Skills That Kills.
Big shoulder there from Lord of the Rings, knocking Little Tricky to the outside. Takes her a second, but she gets back up. Little blocker on blocker action in the pack.
Tricky Little regained her composure. She's back out there making those wheels work for her.
Skills That Kills has picked up lead jam and is on the hunt for some points. Lord of the Rings flying out the front with an attempted hip check. Tricky will sneak right by it.
Little Tricky using some happy footwork right there between
Skills That Kills
2 and 3.
has picked up a penalty. I did not see the call, but she will go to the box, giving Tricky Little. Nope. Now it's going to be Ferris Bruiser putting on the star. Picked it up from Tricky Little with a power jam.
Tricky Little, advantage. That Montana squad doing a fine job of being able to hold her back right now.
Lord of the Rink just working hard out the front.
Prime example of bridging out right there.
Beautiful example of bridging out.
I'm going to say that these juniors know what 10 feet is.
I feel like they've got their measurements down. Skills That Kills has rejoined the fray. And a fray it is.
I got to say that Montana squad was doing a fine job.
Our power jam tables have turned. Ferris Bruiser will take a penalty with just a few seconds left.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you very much for coming out for this first installment of Junior Roller Derby today. I'm going to say that the action has been quite entertaining. We thought the wheels were coming off the train there for a moment.
But they kept him on the track, and we'll keep on rolling here once we get back to action.
Looks like Evil Squishy's got a little extra energy there. She's going to keep doing her spins. That said, I want to thank our vendors. Creative Vitality is helping you create a deeper understanding of your own unique body system. Mount Royal University is providing massagers here on site, whether you need a relaxation massage or have a condition that requires a therapeutic treatment. The Mount Royal University students are trained to the highest standards nationally and can meet your needs. Everybody in the house, I'd like you to make a little bit of noise for each one of your volunteers for flat track. Are you ready for some roller derby?
I am prepared. Evil Squishy on the line to start with a power jam status. Just a reminder, Ferris Bruiser wearing the star is in the box for Legendary.
Squishy made her way through.
Spread that pack right out to grab her lead, get through quick.
Squishy, calm, cool, and collected, coming through 4 to the inside with a bit of a unicorn.
Hop. It's not even an apex, that's just a side. She just hops right over and grabs her 5. And with some instructions from her coach, she'll call it off just as the Black Jammer is standing in the box. Fluster Cluck seems to have some questions for the officials.
Forgive me for getting a little excited. I'm cheering for Junior Roller Derby.
Looks like Anarchy's gonna start on the star for the Rock and Rollers.
Acid Reflux trying to assemble everybody for the Legendary Rollers. I see our officials making sure everything's official.
Coach Flester making some last-second line changes. Looks like he's called a timeout.
Fluster Cluck going to make sure everything's on the up and up. In an effort to make sure everything's on the up and up, each one of our NSOs is making sure that things come off properly. I see Red Baron over there wrangling, keeping an overseeing watch. Dottie Darko says, from a team timeout, we're going to an official timeout.
I heard you like timeouts with your timeout, so we're going to give you a timeout after your timeout.
That's officially official.
Officially.
We want to thank the Montana Rock and Rollers for coming up from Montana for this installment of Flat Track Fever 2018. They're currently sitting with 124 points on the board. Southern Alberta Junior Roller Derby, a Legendary, sitting with 216. When we go back to action, we will have 15 minutes and 16 seconds on our official play clock here in period 2, game 2, day 2, Flat Track Fever 2018. That's our 7th annual Flat Track.
Dev Nall to the announcer's booth, please. Dev Nall to the announcer's booth.
Dev Nall to the announcer's table. Dev Nall to the announcer's table.
Dev
Nall to the announcer's table, please. Dev Nall.
Looks like Kurt So Good has found him, and he's on his way.
I see Dev trying to make his way over to the announcer's table.
Or at least to the closest laptop, as they do seem to be having some technical difficulties with the score clock system.
Look at that, multiple laptops makes things a little bit easier now, doesn't it?
Easy is a word one could use. I don't think it's the one Dottie would currently use.
When all else fails, technology. Dev, Dottie would like to see you. Can I please have a hand for both squads who are out there playing junior roller derby right now? We got the Rock and Rollers from Montana, Legendary from Southern Alberta Junior Roller Derby. Ladies and gentlemen, you're seeing the up-and-comers.
It's the future of roller derby right here, and the future is bright.
When they level up, be afraid, be very afraid.
I, for one, am glad I had retired to the announcer's booth before I have to play against them, because I am shaking in my skates just watching.
I want to thank my announcer, my co-announcer here today, Roar. She's doing a fantastic job this morning.
You're welcome.
Hey, you know what? Without you, we don't have this fine little banter we got going on.
I do enjoy some witty banter.
It looks like we're doing the hokey pokey on the jam line. Or is that the Macarena?
It's the Macarena.
Okay, who's got the Macarena music?
Did you ever lose time here?
I have no idea.
Excuse me, is that Mr. Blue? That looks like there's Mr. Blue over there in our Peterson Contracting Beer Garden. I believe that they're setting up for a half-hour start to be pouring those cold fountain beverages. Ladies and gentlemen, in approximately a half hour, we will have full beer garden capabilities, brought to you by our sponsor, Peterson Contracting.
All right, the technology's been sorted, and we're back in action. Anarchy on the line with a power jam start. He gets through, grabs his lead.
Ferris making the big move. She decides to pass off that helmet cover.
Right out of the penalty box onto the track with the star pass to Wolfblade Jr. Pie face number 314 will take a penalty, as will 315. Pandemonium, one blocker from each team in the box.
Wolfblade, being a little bit warmer, grabs that helmet cover, trying to make something happen here. Lord of the Ring putting a few more on the board there for the Montana team.
And he'll call it.
I have to say, it's hard for me to contain my excitement here. I'm watching some fine.
Looks like there's a cut track penalty being assessed by Bayonet.
Seeing some fine athleticism from these juniors here.
Being assessed right at the end by ref Bayonet to Lord of the Rink as the jammer picked up a cut track right at the end. A little chaos on the track. Figuring out who goes where and does what. Spoiler alert, we all turn left. Looks like Tricky Little will have a power jam start.
Did you say advantage for Tricky Little right off the whistle?
Oh, I sure did.
We go back to action here. We're going to have about 13 minutes and 54 seconds left on this playing clock here in period 2. Flat Track Fever 2018, our 7th annual. That Montana team just making sure that they've got everybody on the track.
All 4 blockers, the ideal number of blockers on a track.
Dodger balls, in the interest of fair play, making sure that everybody's who's supposed to be on the track, on the track. We want to thank everybody for coming out for the second installment this evening, or this morning.
It is still morning for at least
I don't think
another
I've
28
finished,
minutes.
I don't think I've officially finished my coffee.
I haven't even started.
Coffee brought to you by Stanley.
Head ref Dodger balls, just making sure everybody knows what's going on and where. Keep things rolling as smoothly as possible.
Flustercluck doing pirouettes over here on the sidelines.
I think it's similar to like in hockey when the coaches touch their hat and it means steal third. I think when Flustercluck does a pirouette, it means get through, grab lead, and call it. But we'll see. See if my theory's correct.
Is that do your best olive oil impersonation and slide on through?
Yes, it is.
Little tricky, doing a little bit of a dance just off of the jam line here. Alex in Puncherland and Anarchy, as well as Evil, having a real good, intense conversation there. It appears like we're loading up the penalty box here.
There's becoming less and less orange blockers on the track. We're currently down to 2 orange and 3 black in the blocker position and only 1 jammer.
I know that there's Southern Alberta junior parents out there that are like, this is fantastic. We're going to go off the whistle with a power jam.
The 2 blockers Orange has left, however, is Anarchy and number 70, Alex and Puncherland. Both have shown to be very strong and efficient blockers, so I wouldn't discount them just on sheer numbers. Alex and Puncherland with the attempted hit, which will attempt her right into the penalty box. She'll trade places.
Alex and Puncherland grabbed herself a walking out of play penalty. She's going to sit down for 30 seconds.
Sticks and Bones will join Anarchy to be the second orange blocker on the track.
The score really doesn't reflect the level of play here this morning. I think this is a fantastic bout.
Sticks and Bones will head back to the penalty box just for Skills That Kills to come out as well. Lord of the Rinks in the Star has been released and is back in action.
The Sticks and Bones going to take 30 seconds out.
Tricky little will call it before Lord of the Rinks has a chance at points.
I could see the other teams getting all lined up for a third event of the day, all putting their hands together for the Junior Roller Derby. What's the next bout?
It's in this.
It's not actually listed.
Yeah, it is. 12 o'clock.
Oh.
CRDA versus ERD.
Okay. Thank you.
Wolfblade Jr. out front grabs that lead jam. Alex Puncherland looking to make her way through the pack. Wolfblade's made it through and picked up 5. Wolfblade wait until the last second with help from Coach Flex to call it off. See him skating around with his hands in the air, just waiting for the go signal from Flux to touch those hips and end that jam.
Well played, sirs. Well played.
Lord of the Rink back in the star, up against Leothal. Lord of the Rinks out front, grabs that lead. Triple threat and friends bring Leothal all the way back to the back of the pack. Lord of the Rinks just looking to dip, dive, and dodge through that. He's getting knocked around. Cut track penalty.
Lord of the Rink getting a cutting penalty.
And an insubordination, so he'll go for a twofer.
That's a full 60 seconds he's going to sit down. That's going to mean Montana's without their jammer for a full 60 seconds.
Lethal does not have lead. We are going to go for the full two. Lethal has taken off the star. Ferris Bruiser is now putting on the star, taking over as jammer for this power jam.
Ferris, calm, cool, and collected at the corner of turn one. This is jam 15.
Five more points picked up by Ferris Bruiser.
Rock and Rollers sitting with 137, Legendary 264.
The orange penalty box empties out. Everyone's back on track. Lord of the Rinks looking to find his way through.
Ferris and Lord of the Rink coming together right there at the whistle.
Coming out hard and fast right at the top of the pack at the whistle.
Ferris giving Lord of the Rink a quick sorry.
It committed to the hit just as the whistle was going. Sometimes it's hard to pull those back.
Wouldn't want to think there was any injustice right there at the whistle.
Just about a false start.
Was that a false start? I had my head turned. I was looking at our scoreboard.
The refs were blowing the whistle for one reason. The players on the track thought it was for another and just about took off.
I heard the quick double whistle there.
For Dottie standing on the pivot line.
Dottie trying to make sure she doesn't get run over. We want to thank every one of our volunteers for this event. For those of you who don't know, in about 19 minutes, the Peterson Contracting Beer Garden will be open. Please check them out at facebook.com Peterson Contracting. We also want to thank Nerd Roller Skates for helping out with this event, as well as Rydell Skates and Girls on Track Foundation. That'll be the end of our timeout.
Right.
Who have we got lining up here?
When we get back at it here, we have a new jammer in orange, number 9. His shirt says Fox, my sheet says Landon. And Wolfblade Jr., who's got out, almost had lead, but definitely had a cut track instead, so he'll sit down, giving Landon the lead jam status.
Wearing some real live Gene action. Fox is going to try and work his way through on the inside.
And he'll pick himself up a cut track.
Fox is double checking. Cut track.
Which means no more lead status. We're going for 2.
Well, that means we've got 1 minute and 14 seconds left on this jam.
Wolfblade's out and rolling, quick as a whip, looking to make full advantage of that and pick up some points for Legendary.
We want to thank the King's Head for being the sponsor of our after party tomorrow evening immediately following this event.
5 more points for Wolfblade. Finds a gap on the outside, sprints on through.
Some real quick movement by Wolfblade there. Wolfblade working his way out there by himself. Seeing lots of action at the pack.
Fox is out of the box and back in the pack, looking to make his way through.
Now there's a mouthful I could not have attained.
Wolfblade's up to 24 points this jam alone.
Alex in Puncherland is going to sit down for 30 seconds.
Big apex jump by Wolfblade Jr. Sticks the landing. Fox working hard. He'll pick up 3 right at the whistle.
Sticks and bones trying to make a hole there for Fox right there at the whistle. We're sitting with the Montanas, Rock and Rollers with 148 points on the board. Legendary Southern Alberta Junior Roller Derby just a little bit further ahead with 291. Is that Scalita?
That is Scalita in the orange. There is a challenge. Official review. We got Wolfblade Jr.
Looks like we're going to have an official review.
Flux in the middle. We've got
waiting on our captains.
Captains and coach.
Captain.
Paging the captain to the center for a chit chat with the zebras.
Tricky Little and Acid Reflux and the girls all getting together in a little bit of a powwow.
Having a little tete-a-tete.
If they're not careful, I think the Macarena is going to break out yet again.
Nope, it's group hug time.
Group hug.
Team
Everybody
love.
trying to get up high on their tippy toes. I see Lord of the Rink over there adjudicating a little bit of a hokey pokey. Evil Squishy doing the dance as well. I see Triple Threat standing in on there. Scalita wearing the star for Montana for this next one. Ladies and gentlemen, please don't be forgetting to get over to the side for each one of our vendors. Chantel Aber is using the unique leggings to match your style. Mount Royal University doing our massages. Young Living doing essential oils. Origami Owl Custom Jewelry doing your jewelry needs. Creative Vitality helping you create a deeper understanding of your own unique body system. Southern Alberta Junior Roller Derby has a table over there. And I know that Calgary's very own Jane Deere has their own merchant table right up at the front. When we're done with this official review, the Rock and Rollers from Montana sitting with 148, Legendary 291.
All right, so the challenge was Legendary looking for an id-sub penalty for the orange jammer on that last go-round. They will assess that penalty. He is back in the box. So Legendary will retain their challenge, giving Tricky Little a lead jam, power jam start here off the roll. She'll take quick advantage of it and get through.
Little Tricky, if you're a Little Tricky fan, she's out. Tricky Little, I'm sorry. If she's out there on a power jam.
Friends. Big sweep there, just opened up a good quarter of the track for her. Allison Puncherland out of the box, back in. She'll give a little hip check.
Alex in
Knocked Tricky
Puncherland.
right out of the air.
Alex in Puncherland putting the hip on Tricky Little there, right there at the end of play. For everybody who's waiting for our next installment, we're going to have CRDA against EVRD.
Wolfblade Jr. with the power jam start. He'll find his way through. Fox, number 9, back on the track in the star, trying to make his way through the pack.
Look at that.
And
Wolfblade.
he'll pick up another penalty, giving Wolfblade back his power jam.
As we see with many roller derby matches, it appears things are getting a little disheveled at the end of this second period.
Emotions are high, energy's low. This is when things go a little sideways, but it's so much fun.
I see
Wolfblade
Ricefall
gets through
out
and
there
calls
taking some
it.
official photos.
Wolfblade gets through and calls it, which will give them chance to have another power start.
Nailbender, do you guys take debit over there in the Peterson Contracting Beer Gardens? I've been informed that it's approximately 10 minutes before they open.
Leothal on the line for this power start for Legendary.
I'm hearing whistles all over the place. Girlzilla taking a look around.
Leothal gets out the front but picks up a penalty on the way.
Smashing Rex trying to keep an eye on Fox as he comes back into the fray.
He's looking to make it through.
Fox doing a bit of a pirouette, just coming between 3 and 4.
Pam Terra, after confirming with her co-zebras, has confirmed that Fox does grab lead, as Leothal had not picked it up before she got sent to the box, leaving it up for grabs, meaning it's all his. And now it's gone because there's a cut track penalty and he's back in the box. Leothal rejoining the fray.
I get the impression that this jam may go the full time.
Oh, it's definitely going to go for the full 2 because nobody has lead anymore.
Is that tricky? No, that's Leothal out there. Leothal all by her lonesome, trying to work her way through the pack. I see B-Rex trying to give her a hand.
She just skirts through that outside. She'll pick up 5 points.
Handily avoiding a hit right there at the edge of the pack.
Fox back in action. B-Rex will pick up a penalty.
Girlzilla and Pay the Pain trying to reassemble so that they can keep Fox back. A little bit of a melee right there at the whistle.
Just a little chaos at the end. It's all in good fun. We're going to have a fresh jammer for Rock and Rollers on the line. And it will be Skills That Kills up against Wolfblade Jr. First time in 3 jams, they're going to have some fresh legs.
Skill's going to try and make these waning moments count.
Lord of the Rink making life hard for Wolfblade Jr. He thought he had a way through, but he got knocked to the outside and recycled all the way back.
Got to say that both of those skaters have each other's number.
They definitely do. They've been back and forth all morning. Looks like Skills That Kills has made it through and grabbed her lead.
Looks like Wolfblade was trying to follow Skills through there.
Wolfblade and keeps running into Lord of the Rink there at the outside edge.
Lord of the Rink said, not so fast.
And he'll make it through.
Wolfblade Jr. out by his lonesome, followed by Skills. Skills that kills, getting a little bit of a scream from the sidelines.
Scalita picking up a low block penalty for that last pass there.
Looks like Scalita's going to sit down for 30 seconds. Make a little bit of noise for your roller derby.
One last jam. Tricky Little and Allison Puncherland heading up. Tricky Little grabs that lead. Ray Rebel giving Alice a little trouble in the pack.
Puncherland getting quite the hard time right here at the waning moments of this, our second event today.
And that's that. Tricky Little calls the jam.
Tricky Little calling it into the record books as Alex in Puncherland was right on her tail. Both our jam referees going to take a good deep look at the scores, make sure that everything's official.
Looks like our final score for this junior roller derby action is Montana's Rock and Rollers 157 to Southern Alberta Junior Roller Derby's Legendaries 336. Well done, both teams.
Ladies and gentlemen, stick around for our next installment. That'll be Calgary CRDA, Jane Deere going up against EVRD's Evil Roller Derby. We want to thank everybody for coming out for our 7th annual Flat Track Fever here, 2017. I believe we're going to have a bit of a compressed schedule to get this next game underway. Please stick around. The Junior Roller Derby winner of this bout is the legendary Southern Alberta Junior Roller Derby with 336. Rock and Rollers from Montana with 157.